A very good evening. Welcome everyone. This is Aditi Archita Khatuniar, the host for today's episode, along with Adhiraj Datta. We are the literary and technical executive members of Mechanical Engineering Society, NIT Silchar, respectively.
We are joined today by a very special guest, Sahil Kala Bhaiya, an alumnus of NIT Silchar, currently Chief Product Officer and co-founder at C3E Technologies Pune.
We are pleased to welcome you to the Variety podcast hosted by the Mechanical Engineering Society of NIT Silchar, sir. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule.
Will you please
Thank
share a
you.
bit about yourself and your journey, Bhaiya?
Sure. And thanks a lot for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to talk to your juniors from your college. So thanks a lot. Uh, okay. So um, I after graduating from NIT Silchar in 2014, I joined a very small company back then called Zeus Numerics. It was a defense tech company, and currently it has grown to become one of the not one of the number one knowledge provider or the know-how provider to the entire Indian defense consortium. Uh, there I served for around 2.5 years, and it was a marvelous experience, full of diversity, full of exciting projects, products, and also a lot of exposure in terms of technology and also in terms of very uh, what you can say important handling important stakeholders from the government and all. So that was very exciting period. Uh, During my time at Zeus Numerics, I had the luxury of exploring so many things, and coding was one of it. I had some hands-on into coding during my college days as well, but I was not good at it. So, and after delivering an entire software to ISRO and some other another DRDO, uh, so after I did that, I felt very confident, and so I decided to explore uh, a job role which was purely coding based. So that is when I switched to Renault Nissan. And in Renault Nissan, I joined a very experimental team back then. And the duty of the team was to understand the entire vehicle design process that was currently being used by the team and to automate whatever is possible. So during it was a very short period, almost like 9 to 10 months that I served in Renault Nissan. And during that period, so I used to spend almost 6 hours daily just talking to various team members. 6 hours out of 8. And it was a team of 400 plus. So understanding what each and every one is doing, how the process is happening, what is the workflow, मतलब data कहाँ से आता है, कहाँ जाता है, and who are the key stakeholders and all. So those part was done, and I ended up developing 4 to 5 tools for them, which help them to reduce around 20% of their entire vehicle design process. So and and during my time over there, uh, I had already started working on my own startup. It was in the idea stage, and uh, it was very sad because the day I received the GM award for my contribution, the basically it's called the Key Player Award or something. So it was the same day that I had already thought of that I will put my paper, I'll resign. It was very difficult because I had some commitments for my own company. I had to attend few accelerator programs and other incubation programs and all. And so that date was already frozen well before. So I had to put my paper, and it was a horrible situation. But things happen. You have to वो बोलते हैं ना, एक बार कमिटमेंट कर दी तो वापस पीछे नहीं हटना चाहिए टाइप. So yeah, so that was something. And so after that, I started my own company in the renewable energy sector. It's a majorly hardware company. Basically, what we do is we manufacture solar trackers. I hope you have some idea. So to give you some idea, basically when you install the solar panels on our tracker, it will track the sun based on its position. Uh, here, since I was from day one, I was involved into product design and so on things. So I took up the role of the chief product officer over here. And I look after everything right from the hardware part of it, the electronics, the software, the user interface, everything. Yeah, so in between, I also explored many other things. Like I did a pro bono kind of activity for Invest India for our Northeast. I also did an upskilling kind of program in consulting, impact investment, management consulting, and so on at Global Governance Initiative. Basically, the reason was I needed some idea on the policy side of things. So that is why I tried to explore it. Uh, and I also helped one of my friend in an e-commerce business. So it's a total mess up with with my journey till now. I just keep exploring things.
Okay. As is India a startup friendly country? Like an honest review will help lot of us.
Okay. See, India is definitely a startup friendly country, but the startup ecosystem comprises of various sectors. One is the IT sector, software products. One is the marketplace products like e-commerce and stuff like that. Then there is biotech. Then there is electric vehicles and other hardware. Then there is one general hardware or industrial products. So out of this, to our, you can call it bad luck, we fall under the fifth category, the general industrial hardware, where the support from the industry or the startup ecosystem is the least. The other four are kind of okay, with the topmost being the IT products, software and apps and all. So yeah, so this is how it is. So you can just rank it in the order I said.
Okay, Bhaiya,
Okay.
like many of my mates are interested in startup. Okay, so
Okay.
some of the tips that you want to give for someone who wants to start a startup directly after BTech, or like doing some after doing like you, after working in some companies. So
Mhm.
what are your like views or tips?
See, first thing, there is no right time to start up. Whenever you think you have come across a great idea, which uh, so you need a great idea. Second, the idea should be solving a pain point. किसी का तो problem solve करना चाहिए. The market size can be very small, can be very huge. It does not matter, but it should solve something. So if you have clicked these two, you can start up. Team मिल जाते हैं, team का issue नहीं होता है. Funding you get if you have the right team, right mindset, and the right passion for it. Just because you got an idea and you're not passionate for it, you won't get, because investors are very sharp. They hardly take 10 minutes to judge you. आपसे कुछ सुनेंगे भी नहीं. They will just ask you for a 1 minute pitch. They will have a casual discussion with you and they will judge you. Invest करना है नहीं करना है, खत्म. And for that matter, there were two, I think 2 or 3 juniors who had already started up during our college time. One was Sham Kaushik, and the second one was Pankaj Kushwaha. So they had already done that. So there is no right time. You can start up anytime you feel like it. But there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. Like as you grow old, not grow old as in जैसे जैसे उम्र बढ़ती है, your responsibilities increase and your risk taking capacity decrease. So the curve is like this will drop, and then there will come a time when you will again attain the risk taking capacity. That is when you have uh, fulfilled all your responsibilities. That will like 40s, 50s. So again, you gain that. But from 20s, it will keep on decreasing. I hope I could tell you
Yes, yes, you were
something
very
worth
clear.
it.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sure,
Uh,
you did.
Bhaiya, you made a switch from your in your career from a CA engineer to entrepreneurship. Like,
Hmm.
what were the reasons and how did you make that switch?
See, entrepreneurship was always there in my blood. So I belong from a Marwadi hardcore business family. So someday or the other, वो तो करना ही था. But yeah, to answer your question, it's very important to find a purpose in your life. Okay. So for me, that purpose is delivering an impact. Whatever I do, I only get satisfaction when I know that my work is delivering impact somewhere. Like defense, I know where the impact is. Reducing the efforts of the basically automobile industry, fast speeding up the rolling out process, that was the impact. My renewable energy startup, I know where the impact is. uh, Doing my pro bono activity with Invest India, it was pro bono because I knew where the impact is. So basically, for me, impact is my purpose in life. So similarly, it can be anything. Money can be a purpose in life. So it's very subjective in nature, but uh, so coming back to your question, uh, switch from a CA engineer to entrepreneurship, it was not very tough for me because I had prepared myself for the switch. Second, my entire journey before that, if you look at it, it was already into product development. So in my own company also, I'm doing the same thing. It's just a bit broader in perspective. I look after many things here. Being my own company, I have to. Uh, So the switch was not very difficult in that sense, but yes, difficulties are there when you leave your comfortable job life to an entrepreneurship life. So the difficulties are there, but in terms of the work nature, it's same. It's in more interesting, you can say.
Bhaiya, so coming to your college life days, as a student of IIT Silchar, how was your college life experiences, your hostel life, and 3 moments that you cherish?
Okay. uh, we used to party very hard. So, to give you a perspective, if you talk to anyone, any alumni from 2016 and backward, 16, 15, 14 and so on, just ask them hostel 4 के senior हो गया या आप hostel 4 के senior को जानते हो क्या? They will tell you a lot of stories, and many of them I cannot tell you here on this platform. so so it was very fun, but uh, we used to keep ourselves, so it does not mean that we only used to party. We used to work very hard, like in the closest of friends that I have here in college from college days, they most of them were occupied or busy with some activity or the other. So it's like keep yourself busy, keep exploring new things. So these things will help you a lot when you move forward. And one memory that I cherish the most out of everything is taking our first Baja car and traveling along with it in a truck for 7 days straight. So, and yeah, and for that, we, of course, we had the support of teachers like Patnaik sir and few others, Sudipto Haldar sir. So, and yeah, Mishra sir as well. So we had the support. We had the support of director as well, but postponing the mid-sem exams for the entire team, that's a achievement at another level. so so yeah, it was very fun.
Yes, coming to the part essay part, like you were the founder, right? As well as the student chair.
Yes. So see, captain एक बनता है, but that does not mean I was the only founder. I had a team. I had my team.
Mhm.
That was the founding team. It's just that they chose me to become the chairman or the captain of the team. And once you take that responsibility, it's your responsibility to ensure you do not fail. It's your duty to ensure that you get what the team needs. Like uh, many of the things that I did during that time, matlab, I cannot even imagine how I could do it. Like I could manage to get the keys for the workshop so that we can use it during the night. So we used to do all nighter in the workshop, uh, straight till uh, so we used to enter the workshop at 7 in the evening and we used to leave the workshop at 5 in the morning. So that is one. Second thing is postponing the mid-sem, of course. Third thing was getting, so we had budgeted an expense of around 5 lakhs initially, okay, for the entire project. And we ended up spending 10 lakhs, double. so, and we managed to get those extra fund again from director sir. So it was very fun. The time was happening.
You
So
did a lot. Uh,
Yeah, please.
you were also the general secretary of MES. So like, how did you manage everything?
Okay. So first coming to your management part, there was a period where when I was, uh, I do not know if I was the general secretary at that time or not, but executive member of MES. Then I was the treasurer of Solar Energy Society of India. I was the chair of SAE, students chapter. I was also heading the Baha development, and I was also the CR for the call for the batch. And I was also supporting my TNP team in various activities. So, and of course, पढ़ाई तो करना है. So, all of this हो जाता है. And top of that, we used to party. तो my funda is टाइम मिलता नहीं है, निकालना पड़ता है. And never ever compromise your social life, especially with your family and friends, because of work. And when you do that, your friends and family will help you to accomplish all the tasks that you have in hand. So my room was called the office room. Okay. Anytime, whether I am there in the room or not, whether I am asleep or awake, there will be 5 to 6 people sitting inside my room doing scribbling around. I used to have a whiteboard in my room. So वहीं पे सारी चीजें चलती रहती थी. And coming to MES. So when I was in the first year of college, when we entered, सारे branches के societies थे, mechanical का नहीं था. Okay. And इतना बुरा लगा था ना हमें कि each and every one of my friends from other branches, they are going for their freshers party. और हमारे पास कोई है ही नहीं. मतलब we were like, so what we did was, me along with 2, 3 other friends of mine, we entered fourth hostel, the dangerous zone. Okay, because the because there were we were told that there were few active seniors in who used to stay in hostel 4 back then. So we approached them. We told them कि इस साल से हमें मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग सोसाइटी वापस चालू करनी है. Because it was there, but it was dead for a very long time, like 3, 4 years तक it had no existence. So we approached Patnaik sir, because कुछ भी चीज नया करना है ना, you approach him. He'll always support. Okay, he may be very strict. Okay, but he is the best person to ever approach with any problem you have. Okay. uh huh. So we approached our seniors. So we formed an internal committee first. Ki what is our plan, how do we propose it to Patnaik sir and other teachers and all. And then finally वो भैया लोगों ने propose किया and it got approved. And then we started our activities. So our हमें तो freshers मिला नहीं, लेकिन we ensured that उस साल के passing out seniors को farewell जरूर मिले. And the worst part was, हमारे बैच को ना freshers मिला ना farewell party मिली. so, so yeah, things happen.
Bhaiya, also you mentioned about Solar Energy Society of India, like you were the student treasurer there. Can you
Huh.
tell more about that?
Okay, so it was basically the idea of Professor Sir Deshpande, Deshpande sir, the director back then, and also Rohit Thakwani bhaiya. So these two guys were the main people behind it. And since I was active, and I was closely in touch with both director sir and Rohit Thakwani bhaiya as well. So they both approached me कि ऐसा ऐसा एक चीज है जो हम चालू करते हैं. It will be the first time that any college is opening up a solar energy chapter in their college. So and director sir had good connects in the MNRE. So he ensured that big people from the MNRE came to our college to inaugurate it and all. And then we started off. There were few projects as well, like the baby project of Rohit Thakwani Bhaiya, which was a solar powered wheelchair. Then there was a solar powered fountain. So when you will enter the college now, the first fountain that you see, there will be a circle. So that fountain was originally solar powered. Abhi kya hai pata nahi. So all those things we initiated it. And I was given the responsibility of managing funds, क्योंकि मैं general इसके mechanical के लिए भी कर ही रहा था, funds manage बाहा के लिए भी कर रहा था, तो बोला कि इसके लिए भी करो. तो ठीक है. And one thing that I want to ask you, research promotion cell is still active? RPC, it was called RPC, Research Promotion Cell.
Bhaiya, we don't have much information about it. Actually,
Oh,
we haven't been to college yet, so many things we are missing. Actually, we don't
you're
even know.
missing,
You told
you're
about the
missing
fountain.
big time.
The fountain is.
You're missing big time, यार. जल्दी करो. वैसे अभी जल्दी तो नहीं कर सकते. It's a bad situation there in Silchar. Let's
Yeah,
hope things improve.
yes, Bhaiya, we are hoping to. Bhaiya, there is a different craze about the IT department now. Like everyone is, maybe they are which branch they want to go to the IT sector. So, do you think that craze is justified, like, or it isn't?
See, everyone will have their own perspective behind this because, see, IT, you can, क्या limelight में है अभी? Everywhere you see, there will be news about IT. There will be, it's like money flowing. तो जहां पैसा जाएगा वहां लोग भी जाएंगे. But on a very broader perspective, what I feel is there is already a specialization called computer science. There is a child specialization which is called ECE. These two are specialized for IT. ठीक है? We are as mechanical engineers and other electrical, civil, others also, they are specialized for their own branches. But each branch right now, each activity, each product that you do will require some IT skills. So in order to see, I'm not saying कि IT के अंदर जाना is bad or good. It's your call totally. आपको जो अच्छा लग रहा है, it's your calling. अगर तुम्हें IT पसंद आ रहा है, तुम्हें AI, ML, data analytics, then all the buzzwords. मतलब ब्लॉकचेन कुछ भी बोल लो, ये सारी चीजें पसंद आ रही है, जाओ वहां पे, कोई रोक नहीं रहा है. But if you want to remain and excel in mechanical engineering now, even then you will have to learn IT skills, and not only IT skills, hardware skills, managing skills, communication skills, so many things are there. uh, See, for my, in my case, अभी जैसे जो मेरा कंपनी है, मेरी कंपनी में आई हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, आई हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड एम्बेडेड प्रोग्रामिंग, आई हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कंप्यूटर साइंस मतलब सी लैंग्वेज, आई हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड पाइथन एंड यूजर इंटरफेस डिजाइन एंड एवरीथिंग. And at top of that, core mechanical skills like vendor management, design for manufacturing, design for reliability, tolerances, then cost reductions, optimization, all the analysis, everything, prototyping, testing, सब कुछ करना ही है core mechanical का. And on top of that, one thing which I would like to tell you is a computer science engineer or particularly computer science engineer will never ever be able to understand a hardware product. Okay, but if we learn a bit of coding, क्योंकि देखो, when it comes to high performance computing, computer science, you cannot beat them. It's their specialization. But in your regular life ना, most of the products will be such that जिसमें तुमको थोड़ा बहुत भी कोडिंग आता है ना, भले ही तुम कचरा कोडिंग करो, there will be no, मतलब कुछ फॉर्मेटिंग नहीं है, तुमने कैसे भी इंडेंटेशन दे रखे हैं, but it will still work and it will still move your product. उतना काफी है. But you have to know that. You have to understand the link between the two. अभी तुम रोबोटिक्स भी करोगे. So in our time, we used to do a lot of robotics. Huh? तो robotics जब करोगे ना, तो उसमें you will start off with the कचरा coding. So you do it, get your hands dirty, you will enjoy it, और उसके बाद मजा आने लगेगा. And then see, finding a practical use of anything that you do ना, it's very important. So get your hands on both for these IT skills and for core mechanical skills as well. My problem when I faced what I faced during my college was कि कोर स्किल्स को लेके ना बहुत सारे प्रैक्टिकल यूज केसेस नहीं, अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं थी, या मतलब नहीं कर पाए बिकॉज ऑफ माय टाइम कॉन्स्ट्रेंट. But that thing I miss out, and these things haunt me back. And then I have to sit and learn again, and brush my theory part, and then apply it into the practical part. So try to get your hands dirty whenever you can.
Okay, Bhaiya.
That was very informative. Uh, so, Bhaiya, we know mechanical or manufacturing startup requires a lot of capital and hence many give up soon. So, what are your views and were there moments like when you felt like giving up?
Many times. होता ही है. Like, see, I have not taken a salary revision for the last 6 years. So, and salary revision तो छोड़ो. Uh, Salary cuts I have taken for more than a year. Like less than half the salary, zero salary. COVID time पे it was zero salary. So these are times which are very tough, and you have to pass them. See, if you believe in your product or the thing that you are doing now, it will keep on pushing you. कि थोड़ा और टाइम, थोड़ा और टाइम, थोड़ा और टाइम. तो वो पुश मिल जाता है, एंड स्पेशली इन दीज टफ टाइम्स ना, योर फ्रेंड्स विल कम इन हैंडी. So for me, I have a group called Kujbi. It's an intact, close group of 14 people. And we have been together right from the college times till now. We meet once every year. It's a it's a fixed thing कि हर साल एक बार तो मिलना ही है. And see, when you have friends like this, na, you share problems which you cannot share with your family. बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे होती है जो तुम नहीं बता सकते. उनके लाइफ में ऑलरेडी टेंशन है, तुम और क्यों टेंशन दोगे. तो दीज ड्यूरिंग दीज टाइम्स योर फ्रेंड्स हेल्प यू आउट. Like the in my experience, you must have seen that Weber Global Shop LC wala experience wherein I was into e-commerce. So that was the COVID wala time. I had no, absolutely zero income. Okay. And my friend was working at that company, and he had an opening where he needed help from someone with an entrepreneurship experience. So it was a perfect match. Okay. And that the work timings was also US timings. So it was not clashing with my daily job. So he gave me that opportunity. I helped him out, and in turn, I generated some revenue for me to keep on pushing myself. So that is how you keep pushing yourself, pushing yourself. And yes, for hardware, it's very capital intensive. पैसा बहुत लगता है. And it's very crucial in your two things are very important. First, to correctly judge the development time of your product. Second, to correctly time the entry of a strategic investor. So that is how you can avoid these problems and move easily.
Okay, Bhaiya. Bhaiya, now here we end the serious segment and shifting
Okay.
towards the one. We have a little rapid fire round for you. So
Okay.
yeah, please start.
Yeah, so for first question, what are three books you would recommend us and why?
I'm not a reader. I'm not a reader. But yeah, I tried it once, and I absolutely loved Dan Brown's series. So those were the only books I read. Apart from that, one more book that I attempted to read was Zero to One, which I really liked.
Okay.
Uh, so football or cricket?
Um Watching anything with friends. So I'm not a fan of either. जहाँ पे जो
That
friends
experience
देख रहे
feels
हैं उसके
different.
साथ I watch different sports actually. मतलब मैं F1 देख लेता हूँ, मैं लॉन टेनिस देख लेता हूँ, फुटबॉल भी देखता हूँ, NBA भी देखता हूँ. आई एम एग्नोस्टिक. मतलब जो मजा आ रहा है, जो चल रहा है देख लो.
Okay.
Your go-to song and band or singer after a tiring day.
Okay. See, I like the Queens, Coldplay, uh, KK, of course. Uh, what else? Local Train. Do listen to their song.
Okay. Local train, we all love local train and KK. Like similar, we all have the similar taste, I guess. The last question of rapid fire round. If you could eat only one food item, what would it be?
Only one food item, dal khichdi.
Oh, okay.
मतलब not dal khichdi, dal chawal and aloo pitika.
Okay. Aloo pitika goes on there also in Pune, and like it
No,
is
I make
main.
it. I make it
Oh,
because being from Assam, if you do not like dal chawal and aloo pitika, then कैसे हो सकता है? कैसे निकलेगा?
obviously, obviously. So, with this, we come to the end of the rapid fire round and hence the end of today's episode of our podcast. A
Okay.
huge thank a huge thank you to our honorable guest, Sahil Kala Bhaiya, for being so patient with us. We, on the
It was a
behalf of
pleasure.
our, thank you, Bhaiya. We, on the behalf of our MES family, wish you all the best for your future. And lastly, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the esteemed members of MES for their presence and cooperation to make this podcast a great success.
Thank
So
you.
it's
Thanks a lot. It was fun talking to you guys, and it's always a fun to talk to your college people. And I really hope you guys get to go to college soon, yaar. जल्दी जाओ.
yeah.
Okay.
So this
Best of
is
luck to you guys as well.
okay. Thank you, Bhaiya. It was
Yeah.
pleasure talking to you, and we got many tips for college.
And
Now we want
yeah, one
college.
last tip. One last tip.
Mhm.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Hustle as much as you can. Hustle. सब कुछ explore करो, but हाँ, one tip that I always give to all my siblings: explore as much as you can, try new things, but इतना सब कुछ है ना करने को, देखने को, पढ़ने को कि आज के टाइम में you get just lost. तुम एक चीज
Mm.
चालू करोगे, वहीं पे दूसरा चीज इतना ज्यादा हैपनिंग लगने लगता है, you just leave it. So don't do that. Whatever you start, with sincerity, spend at least 3 months on it. At least 3 months. And then you decide कि तुम्हें और continue करना है या it's good enough for you. So that's one tip, last tip. और ज्ञान नहीं दूंगा.
So Bhaiya, it was very fun, and like we liked your tips, and we'll surely use them.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Bye, Bhaiya.
Bye.